Welcome to another edition of Rugby League Down South, and this one coming to you live from the HAC. Well, I say live, obviously it's pre-recorded, but I'm at the Honourable Artillery Company in the centre of London as the Capital Challenge has just finished here. The Wigan 13, the Wigan Select 13, basically Wigan Warriors under-19s, are beating the London Skolars by 48 points to nil. High tempo really from the Wigan side, their organisation as well, helping them to win. Skolars getting a good run out though. Their forwards look like they'll cause a bit of damage in Championship 1 this year. We'll hear from the Skolars coach in just a moment, but also from one of their influential players in their creative positions as well. But a defeat for the Skolars today in this pre-season friendly, but another great event really for the Capitals Championship 1 side, and a great event it is for the club. And we heard about Howard Kramer, their general manager, saying it's a bit of a money spinner here in the capital every year. So another success. Their attendance today of 805, the best ever here. So another very, very successful game. So let's hear then from the head coach of the London Skolars in Joe Mbu about what he made of the side and the run out. It's always tough, isn't it? It's the first game here, the 10th, in fact, Capital Challenge that's taken place, the 7th at the HAC, but the first one to not involve London's Super League side because of the uncertainty last year. They couldn't commit to this fixture despite them playing their very first friendly tomorrow in terms of their season away at Catalans. But it's the first one not to feature the London Skolars side, not to feature the London Broncos side, but a very good run out for the London Skolars, and it's always tough whoever they face. Here is Joe Mbu. Well, Joe, it's always the first bit of rugby league that London fans see. Yeah. It's always a tough game for Skolars, isn't it, really? And this one was no different.
No, there's no difference. The boys put in, and that's important for me at this stage. You know, it's our first game, it's our first full contact game, and I don't think we did ourselves a misjustice. You know, the boys worked hard, and the boys never gave in. You know, and they worked hard, and that's all I can ask from them. And that was, if you said what was my goal before the game, my goal certainly wasn't to win, because obviously it's not at this point in the season. But for me, my goal was to see how the spirit of the team and the work rate of the team, and you know the enthusiasm they showed, and the effort that they showed, and they stuck at it. At no point I was watching that game and I thought, you know, we gave up or we gave in. You know, we worked hard all the way to the end. We're pushing, we're working hard. I thought defensively, again, first game we're always going to look a bit shady. But Wigan, they just had great shape, great plays, and everyone of the players were used for purpose, and that's where we've got to get to. And it was just great. They just played well, and it was great. It was great watching Wigan attack and watching them defend. So it's great all round for me. I got a lot from that, and I'm sure certainly the boys that played for my team, they also did.
From my very simplistic point of view, it seemed like that you had kind of the bigger men and you were sort of strong going forward, but they seemed to be a bit fitter, a bit more nimble, and sort of better in a way that you would expect for a side that trained a lot more together. No,
definitely. I think our game caters for the players that we've got, you know, and also you having to look at in terms of comparison, in terms of fitness. You mentioned about nimble and conditioning. We probably at best have one hard conditioning session a day. A day in a week. You know, one day in a week, and they probably got 3 or 4 times a week conditioning. So our conditioning is never going to be the same, because after a hard day's work, I can't make these guys run for more than an hour. You know, it's got to kind of be restricted to 45 minutes at best, if that. But all said and done, you know, I thought skill. You know, we looked skillful. Getting certain game plans and executions, it will be ongoing for the new players. But I thought the players that were here last season and some of the new players stood up to me and looked great and looked part of the squad. And you know, you wouldn't know that they weren't part of the squad last season. So that's good. There's a lot of positive that I've taken from that. The scoreboard is what it is. You know, like I always say, my favourite term. But I'm happy with the performance and the attitude the boys took onto the pitch.
You've had to make a few changes this year, especially in key positions because of loss of players. Dylan Ski no longer half-back, James Anthony as your full-back. Obviously, you've got Matt Bradley today who played well in the halves. How is your recruitment going in those positions, and are you happy with what you've got? Are you still looking to add to it?
Oh, definitely. I'm always looking to add to the squad, and there's still another player that with his frustration and he wanted to travel down. He's another half-back. I told him, I said, look, don't worry about it, and let's look at the week in 2 weeks' time when we play Oxford, and once we get everything sorted. And yeah, there's still more to the squad to come, and there's still a few more players, key players that they've got to come in. With regards to Matt's performance, I watched Matt playing against us for Gloucester, and I was impressed. I was impressed with his handling ability. I was impressed with his organisation. So when we started talking about him coming down, for me it was great, and having him in the squad, I'm sure you're going to see a lot more of him, and there's a lot more from him. And he kicked well, and he passed well, he organised the team well. You would think he's been running my team for, I always say they run my team, they've been running the team for years. He looked comfortable, he didn't look out of place, and that for me they're all positive things, because this is his first game. I'm looking at 5-4, 10 games in, he's going to be a different player.
And how are you in terms of where you were last year? It was a very different looking Championship 1 for last year. With the team that you've got at the moment and the way you'll attack the league, where do you think you are? It was a tough start last year, but you're expecting to do better. You got a better team, you got about the same team.
In terms of better team, that's still to be seen. But I've got the right people this year. Last year I had some and not some, but this year I think we've got people in a lot earlier than we had previous years, and there's a lot, again, another year where there's a lot more competition in the squad, and what's pleasing for me, again, I've not mentioned, is the 3 young players that I've brought in so far. I thought Michael Greenland and Judd and Dion Chapman, they played really well, again against probably the best team that you're going to come junior level and senior level. They stood up well, and they didn't look any different, They didn't look out of place, and that for me, that's pleasing to see as a coach, and bringing those lads in and seeing them perform the way they did.
What about you as well? We sort of roll around another season. You continue as head coach at London Skolars. You seem to be really enjoying yourself. You seem to be really settling in. You're obviously happy with what you're doing and where you're going. Do you have aspirations to move up through the game? Do you want to? Are you still learning? Do you think? Do you want to go be an assistant somewhere? Do you fancy time in NRL? How do you see your future?
No, the way I see my future, I'm open, but I grew up playing through Skolars, and I touched my first rugby ball at Skolars, and I love Skolars. My aspiration is to get this club as high as I can as a coach and as a person or as an individual. In terms of my career elsewhere, I'm always open. I'm one of those open-minded people that if the opportunity comes, again, my heart was with Skolars, but again, I'm looking to. My aspiration is to be at the highest level. When I started playing rugby league, I wanted to play Super League. That was my aspiration, and then second to that, I wanted to play for England or Great Britain at the time. But that's where I stand, and whatever happens, happens. So I'm open to suggestions.
Are you looking forward to getting going this year?
No, definitely. This year is another exciting year. I've got quite a number of players, and I think I was excited today seeing Jamie's performance, and I'm kind of excited letting him loose in Championship, and Sam Juice again, he's caught my eye today, and Anthony Cox who's come into the squad, and I thought he had a lot of muscle and he had a lot of attitude, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing quite a few new players. But on top of that, seeing Sam Wellings his first season with us, and today he showed, the pre-season's done with us how much has improved, and I think already he's at a point where he left off last season. So again, they're positive stuff. So we're looking forward to it.
So that's thoughts of Joe Mbu, the head coach of the London Skolars. Interesting to hear about his future. I'm sure that hopefully over time he'll be looking for bigger and better things within the game, but currently enjoying his time as the head coach of London Skolars. Worth mentioning as well that Smokey Jr. as well taken to hospital during the game, colliding with the post whilst chasing back, trying to prevent one of the tries, which he didn't prevent unfortunately, but he's having an X-ray on his femur as I speak at the moment, so I'll get you an update on that whenever I can. That'll be on Twitter at Ian Ramsdale if you'd like to follow me. And when I say that he collided with the post as well, it was an almighty mid-air crash really. Sounded like he was in a fair bit of pain afterwards as well. So an X-ray on his femur for Smokey Jr. But one of the standout players really of the London Skolars side, one of the people that Joe Mbu mentioned as well was their halfback, Matt Bradley. So I caught up with him at the end of the game. He's new to London Skolars this year, having them had to make a few changes because of departures of players at the end of 2013. So here is the Skolars number 7, Matt Bradley. Matt, well, first game for Skolars. Wasn't maybe the scoreline you wanted for, but it's not a bad run out, that.
No, I enjoyed it. I think all the lads did, especially when you're coming up against, some of the best talent there is out there. It's always tough. They obviously had the experienced players of, people that can, got that star element, I think. So, no, I enjoyed it. I think we all did. I think we got out of it what we wanted to.
And for anybody that's listening to this who maybe saw the game, the thing that stuck out in my head was every time you kicked a touch for the penalties, it's going sort of. Sometimes I see kicks for penalties and they're just knocking it out near where they are, but you're going for the metres.
No, it's something that I work on, my kicking, and I think it came off pretty well today. So we'll keep building as a team, and we're happy with what we got out of today, as I said earlier. So.
How have you found it with Skolars? Because you were with Gloucestershire last year.
I was. Yeah, it was. I had 3 years there through the university programme as well. But yeah, it's been a changing environment. I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. With Joe's coaching and that kind of stuff. Obviously I'm travelling down at the moment because I'm moving down shortly. But no, every minute I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm glad I made the move. Yeah.
Just going to ask you what brought you here. Was it the rugby or was it a job? So the rugby's brought you here and you're going to get a job, is that right?
No,
or you got a job?
Yeah, full on the rugby. I had a good end to the Championship 1 season last year. I grew within the as the games came, and this year hopefully I can step on again, and with a pack like we've got here in Championship 1, I think it should be a slightly bit more easy for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And what was your route into rugby league as well? Was it that you just went to the University of Gloucestershire and they picked you up while you were there?
I mean, they played a very big part. Originally, I played both. I'm actually from Manchester, so there's both there, I suppose. I actually played for Oldham Reserves. I was about 16, 17. Then I was playing with Sedgley Park Rugby Union, and then I went to Hartpury University Rugby Union, and then I got an offer to go to the University of Gloucester on scholarship. So that kind of it stuck out for me. I've always enjoyed the game, and I prefer it personally. So that's what it is for me.
And playing at 7 today, I mean, the halfbacks with Skolars from last year, big change, big difference. Dylan Ski leaving, you've obviously come in. I mean, with Dylan Ski just having gone, big boots to fill in a way.
No, yeah, I've seen some of the things that have been said about him, and I think I think he had a few years on me. So hopefully, as I said, I can just keep going this season and just keep improving. And I think I can do that under Joe. So.
And what is it about London that sort of made you come here?
Originally, I didn't really think about it, but then, as the offer came, to be honest, Skolars were totally professional from day one. They said something, it happened straight away. Even coming to contract kind of things, it really impressed me. Basically, it was said it was on speaks to on Monday. It was Monday 9 a.m. sort of thing. So everything that the setup they've got there is great, and obviously with the new River Stadium being refurbished and that kind of stuff, I think it's onwards and upwards for us, I think.
And what about this place as well, the HAC? I mean, it's not your average rugby league ground, is it?
No, I think it's the most expensive pitch in the world.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. There's something different, especially playing against a quality outfit. It was, it's a good experience, especially the young guys. A lot of guys for us are young as well, so it wasn't just Wigan that were putting the young kids out. So, no, I think everyone got out of it what we wanted to, and exactly looking forward to Championship 1 season.
We should probably mention the Wigan youngsters as well. They're pretty decent, aren't they?
Yeah. I think a lot of them could easily make the step up to Super League. So, and I think they will do. I think I saw something like half the squad numbers this year of academy players that have played Super League. So they've obviously got an absolutely just players coming through of such quality. So. Yeah.
Oh, it's good to talk to you. Enjoy your season, and I'm sure we'll catch up at some point
later
on.
You too. Thank you very much. Cheers.
So that's Skolars' Matt Bradley, who'll be playing in the halfbacks for the side in Championship 1 this season. Sounds like a decent prospect as well, and talking to a couple of people at the end of the game, one in particular being the returning former London Broncos man, spent time at Featherstone in Lamont Bryan playing back for the Skolars now, and he was saying that he thinks they've got a really decent side for Championship 1 this season, that they'll give other sides a really good run out. So he's very excited to see what London Skolars can do in this 2014 season. But also a fair bit of excitement around as well. The Wigan side, they were an impressive young outfit. I had a chat with Chairman Ian Lenigan, the Wigan chairman, former London Broncos chairman, of course, isn't he? At the end of the game, he was delighted with the youngsters, impressed with Skolars as well, impressed with the event, and interesting to hear his thoughts, about, in particular, bringing Wigan down as a brand and hoping to get more into the city and more into London. I wouldn't be surprised to see him and his coaching staff offer to come down to play the game again next year. Would be interesting, wouldn't it? Broncos, offered to play the game. I think I'm right in saying that they didn't particularly want to play it last year. They didn't play it this year because of the ongoing trials and tribulations, but will they play it next year? I think they'll have a good run for their money in Wigan, especially with that record attendance for this game as well. Also chatted to Dan Sargentson, who didn't play for the Wigan side, but he was on the sidelines wearing a suit as well, which rather surprised me. Didn't recognise him to start with. Never seen him wearing a suit before. I was chatting to him, and he was saying basically he's put on a stone since he moved up to Wigan, just because of the intensity of their strength and conditioning coaching. And he's going to play centre for Wigan, or centre fullback. Said he's really enjoying himself. Can't wait this season. So it'd be good to see Dan Sargentson, former Hemel man, of course, at Broncos last year. See what he can do with the Wigan Warriors for this year. But that's it for another quick, short episode of Rugby League Down South. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back with another one very soon.